Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Prospect Central Online. My name is Chris, and today, joining me, we have
Keelan.
Sam.
and we're going to be watching some Jevon Holland with you guys today. He is a safety from Oregon, and we have two games of 2019 tape. The second one is actually really, really short, so we'll see if there's another one maybe if we feel like we need to after that. The highlights are almost as long as the video. That's kind of funny. So, with that being said, Sam, this was your idea, so I will let you start. What do you know about Jevon Holland, and what do you think that we should expect going into this?
So pretty much, I think the biggest thing you should expect is look for him to be extremely versatile. Like you're going to see him line up all over the field. You're going to see him in the nickel. Most likely, you're going to see him probably single high. You're going to see him part of a two safety look. You're going to see him. You might even see him cover on the boundary occasionally. Not his strongest area, but it's possible he can still do it. He's an extremely, extremely gifted athlete with covering. He's got the makeup speed if he gets cooked, which he rarely does. He's got great athleticism, good length, good size, great instincts, fantastic instincts. Good in man, good in zone. Like he really reminds me through and through of like a bigger Tyrann Mathieu. But yeah, pretty much it. Just look for him to cover really well.
Keelan?
The only thing I know about him is he was born and raised in Coquitlam, which is about 15 minutes away from me. So he's a Canadian and a British Columbian, therefore he's gonna be goated.
Cool. So we're going to start with the Cal game, which is definitely the longer of the two and the one that we'll get the better sample size from. Oh, looks like we have an overall. That's
The mighty Golden Bears.
yes. Former team.
The greatest running back of all time.
A long time since we've heard anything about him. He was in the Olympics last cycle, I think. Actually.
It's actually hilarious.
Or preparing for the 2021s or something. I thought I saw something about him being like a one of those runner guys. So he is number 8. Shout out to Sporting. It says he's in 720, so we're going to leave it.
That's the best 720 quality I think I've ever seen.
Okay, system zone coverage. There we go.
Oh, that is a lot better.
Yep, and there's that corner play, and they're targeting him. And overall, pretty solid. So he does a really nice job of staying in phase. Probably could do a little bit better enforcing the boundary. Not necessarily exactly his job, though, considering he's generally speaking going to be a safety. Also, the size battle is very interesting here because Holland is still going to end up factoring in it on some level to make this play against a bigger receiver. So you do get to see some of the coverage traits on display here. I do wish he would turn his head, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wish he would have a bit better ball skills.
Okay, nice force play. Missed the tackle, but good gap integrity. Okay, good zone discipline. We've seen that a couple times already.
fast he got over to that ball.
Mm-hmm. Okay, again, pretty solid gap integrity.
Coverage.
He's really, really fast.
Yeah, he's gifted.
Okay.
Playing kind of in the box a bit, which is cool.
Okay, spy. Good angle. Okay, good gap integrity again. Okay, another spy. So really putting him in a variety of roles.
Yeah, that's why I liked the Honey Badger comp, because he can kind of play that like money backer role where they can kind of put him in the box and they shuffle him everywhere. A lot of like pre snap motions. A lot of he's running everywhere before the snap. He's diagnosing things.
So end up having reception here. Obviously, easy ball track.
Mm-hmm.
Good athleticism, but
Okay, good patience.
Is he allowed a completion yet?
I believe so. Hasn't
Because
exactly been.
he plays a lot of man coverage. Like I don't recall him playing this much man coverage.
Yeah, he hasn't really been targeted all that much though either.
Yeah.
Which is honestly probably a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not going to allow like a lot of completions when you're not being attacked. Okay, nice motor. Yeah, they've got him on. Now, to be fair, White Cal was playing quite a bit of spread formation,
Mm-hmm.
so they're lining up with the fourth pass catcher and the second slot role. So you are seeing him play basically tight ends or running backs or the other two fourth receiver. So it's not like anything too particularly crazy. That's the first completion he gave up, by the way.
Yep.
It's not like he's going against like number ones. But yeah, he got it. That looked like it was initiated by the receiver. Uh, okay, nice zone discipline. Okay, again, nice zone discipline.
I
deflection.
can't even tell if
Guaranteed.
that was him being targeted there or not.
It was. So he's going to create a little bit of separation with that push. And he's the guy that's on the receiver. 35 just comes across. I think that's straight dive, if I recall correctly.
Right, because he opted out this year, right?
Holland, it looks like it.
Yeah.
It's part of why he's falling a little bit.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys who opted out are falling.
Jamar Chase is really the big one that isn't.
But even people are getting tired of him and really talking about Smith and Waddle more.
Okay, there's discipline. Patient. Nice.
Great coverage.
Yeah, and you're just seeing the fundamentals change late. He's very sticky, very patient.
Great head turn.
Communication. Nice. So your guys' thoughts through the first game?
I mean, it was kind of what I expected to see for the most part. I mean, just really, really good in coverage.
For me personally, I think he's fine. I don't think he's physical enough in coverage for my liking, especially for the especially if he's playing man that much. But he's really athletic and really rangy and versatile. I just would like to see him a bit more physical in man coverage.
I mean, but they're not really asking him to press or anything, so that plays into the whole like lack of
Sure, but
physicality.
And typically you don't want to press the tight end.
Right. And I mean,
Yeah,
and you're also they were playing a lot of spread. You have to remember he is like a safety. He's not like an outside corner.
I understand. I'm just saying in coverage, he's even when the ball is thrown to him, I didn't really see him use his hands at all. That's my major flaw with him, personally, in my opinion.
I feel like, though, at some point there's a boundary between discipline and aggressiveness. I really don't think that he is someone who needs to cross that.
You can be disciplined. You can be a disciplined player while still maintaining better hand usage.
I mean, I guess. I mean, he was really disciplined in zone, and he was sticky down the field in man without being overly handsy.
Right, obviously he wasn't overly handsy because he wasn't really handsy at all.
So I guess I don't see that as like a bad thing if he's sticky without using his hands.
Yeah, I don't necessarily either.
It's more part of the when the ball's thrown at his guy, he doesn't even attempt to knock it away. Shout out to the all 22 tape though.
Okay, nice shed. Good tackle. coverage. Nice job taking away the tight end. Same thing.
So, I don't know. I saw a little bit of hands there. He was kind of bumping arms there with him to keep up with him.
Nice.
Great play.
Yep, so you're going to see his ability to stay in phase really translate, especially against the tight end. And then he just undercuts the outfit. Okay, blitzing. Nice job bringing the gap. Same play, just protection. Okay. Nice, good physical tackle to finish. Same thing.
Good stuff.
Really liking his ability to finish these plays with the tackles.
Yeah, I think that's like the biggest thing I wanted, because I knew coming in he was going to be really, really good in coverage. I wanted to see him be able to get off blocks and lay a hit and be able to tackle.
And yeah, he's not exactly the greatest with the block shedding elements, like you'll see on this particular play. Which ends up getting him a little bit behind him in the pursuit element. So he's definitely more of a alley guy. Whatever you want to call that in your particular defense, whether it's a Joker or Apex or Aztec or whatever it is. Nice. Nice backside pursuit. Okay, good run read. Okay, good patience. Good pursuit angle. Versus a throwaway. I really like the angles he's taking on these wideouts too. By wideouts, I don't mean like receivers, I mean like wide outside runs. He's doing a really nice job of calculating where he needs to go.
Yeah.
And he's really fluid to change of direction too. Like you'll see right here, he's going to widen his angle a little bit. It's very smooth. Okay, nice recognition. Good stop. Cool. So, your guys' thoughts on Jevon Holland? This is honestly probably a quick look, but
Jevon. Yeah. I'll go first. Yeah. I think I liked this tape a bit more than I did the California tape. I think he showed some what I was looking for. I thought he was really good in coverage of this game, and he honestly reminds me a lot of Earl Thomas.
I'm actually not mad at the Earl Thomas comp. I think that's decent.
Good. If you were mad at the Earl Thomas comp, I don't know what I would do. I would wouldn't be able to live with myself.
Yeah, I know. My approval is what a lot of people live for, so I understand.
Yep. Oregon football player makes Popeye's chicken sandwich.
Love to see it. Hey, it's Justin Herbert.
Good character guy. Makes chicken sandwich.
True.
Sam Howell would be pleased. This is
Utah offense versus Oregon defense. We could try to see if that has.
I'd imagine it would have him, considering he's on the Oregon defense.
Thank you, Keelan.
You're welcome.
That was my thought, at least.
I'm hoping so. Like I was thinking, like, okay, that should work. Go away, YouTube Premium.
I love how they give us ads to tell us how to take away ads.
Yeah, for real.
It's like, how about you just take away ads?
Why? This is actually very long. Okay.
19 minutes.
That's gonna be
This is QB tape. Oh.
Look at this.
We're back to the 60s. Static television.
It's in 720. Supposedly.
Many
There we
people
go.
are saying.
Better.
Yeah, I think they forgot a decimal point. I think it's at 7.20p right now. Might as well be watching Roblox football.
Okay, so pass rushing roll. I guess a little bit better, though. I have to be honest.
True.
Send him on the blitz.
That's why the tape is so long.
Okay, good coverage on the tight end. Okay, nice job crashing downhill on the screen. He wrecks that really, really quickly.
Goes back to what I said before the video about instinctual.
Interesting that they have him in on a heavy set. This is a 4th and 1. Generally, you see like a 65 or like a 56 or like some very heavy set in 4th and 1 situation. Well, obviously they have the guy on the receiver, but otherwise you generally see very heavy 55.
I mean, they
64.
might be playing the threat of pass and having him as like the tight end killer kind of thing.
And yeah, they put him on the field.
Oregon jerseys are just so good.
I like the green ones, like the green and yellow.
I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen an Oregon jersey I dislike.
True.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, this is why the tape is so long. They're going to include all this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was just a stupid penalty.
Yikes. That looks even
Yeah.
worse at that angle.
Yeah, I don't know what the point is of going down like that.
That was
It's stupid.
like, at that point you're making it look intentional.
Oh my. Oh, I think the arm was out.
Dang, he didn't get called for targeting? Or he didn't get confirmed for targeting? That's some interesting officiating.
He doesn't play for Ohio State, Keelan.
True.
Indeed. The refs hate us. What can I say?
Uh-huh.
That was interesting. Obviously, he's a quarterback, but he's not exactly sliding.
Shout out to Tyler Huntley for playing the playoffs this year.
Why is he not? Does it look like he's sliding?
No.
No, not to me.
Look, he's still taking step, like he's starting to run towards the sideline. He's not sliding.
Is there any reason for Holland to not tackle him?
No.
Not Holland. I can see why number 4 is not tackling him.
Okay. Wake Forest. Yeah.
TurboTax.
I see. Oh, wow. Shout out to not picking that up. He just blocks the punt and then he drops
Shout
it.
out. Shout out. He's a defensive end. Give him a break. Shout out Jevon, though. Future number 1 pick. Number 1 prospect.
Really?
Who?
Kayvon Thibodeau.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that seems homerish.
What do you mean?
I don't know if he's the future number 1 prospect.
I'm pretty sure he's not.
He's my number 1 prospect, not including positional value next year. The best edge rusher.
Best edge rusher, sure. I'm not confident he's going to be in my top 3.
I'm very confident he is, and if he's not, that's very, very odd if he's not.
I fully expect at this point that I'm going to have Slovis and Howell and possibly Nick's higher.
Nick sucks.
At Brandon.
I think you would probably agree with me at that. With that, Howell,
I
sure.
think Brandon likes next.
I think Slovis will be up there with positional value, but I don't think he's going to be a true number 2 or number 3 prospect. I think it's pretty clear that Kayvon's a top 3 prospect.
Well, I guess we'll see next year when we're actually watching next year's prospects.
I think he's better than Chase Young.
Yikes.
Possible. But I also didn't have Chase Young as the number 2 prospect last year. So,
Sure. Neither did I.
Chase was my number 2. Actually, no. Chase was my number 1.
He was my number 3 or my number 4.
so shout out to Holland for the coverage versus the run.
He tends to be good at doing that.
They're really going after 25 in this game. He does feel fairly hesitant as a tackler at times, Holland does.
Yeah. YouTube TV.
And, like, when he actually attempts to tackle, he's generally pretty good at it. He has the ability to shed like he does there. Oh, apparently the Tigers did something. That's interesting. Oh, Nolan Arenado just got traded.
Who?
Nolan Arenado, baseball player.
Oh, yeah. I just didn't hear what you said. Where is?
Oh, okay. Pretty good coverage by Holland on this particular play. He ends up actually transitioning off of his guy to effect the throw to the other receiver, dash running back, and he's not able to make a play on it. But still impressive to be able to transition off of his guy in the middle of the field to transition into the hash to make a play. Oh, he actually did make the play. Even more impressive then. So yeah, he's going to do a great job of getting his hand in to knock the ball out.
Yep.
And it's incomplete. Oh my. Yikes. At tackling. That's a nice pump fake by Holland though. Okay, I like what he did on that play. Crash. Yeah, he feels a little hesitant at times. Okay, this is pretty interesting. Keelan, what do you see on this play from Holland?
Aggressiveness.
I asked Keelan, Sam.
Can't really see him. Oh, there. Oh, that's nice hand usage there. So that's what I like to see. I see him waving his arm. Oh, nice.
Dang, if that edge rusher's so good, how come he didn't sack him there? For the audience, yes, I'm kidding. I'm not that casual.
Debatable.
I said that casual.
This whole defense at times seems very
Unorganized.
not what I'm looking for, but yes. Passive.
Lazy?
Lizzie's aggressive. Aggressive isn't like harsh. But they seem very passive. that something that you guys have been noticing?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's like I don't know. I don't think it's like a problem. Like, oh, these guys just are not out here to play. I don't think it's something like that.
It's funny because like they're keeping Utah relatively in check. They've only given up 7 points against the end of the third.
I mean, they are,
14.
especially at this point, a team built around coverage. I'm comfortable with that. That was good coverage.
Yep.
It was a dime.
Just a little late with the hand because he doesn't get his head turned. Because he was a step behind. Oh, 13. Yeah, he's across very easily. What? Bro, watch how long it takes this guy to give.
When you're creepy but extreme, what the hell is that? What is he doing? Is he praying?
Yeah, so Chris, going back to the whole they seem passive.
He looks like he's praying. He's on his knees.
Is that some kind of disguised blitz? They're like, oh, maybe they'll just assume he's taking the playoff. They're out here playing 3D chess.
Oh, shout out to Jevon for that shed better than everyone. How
That was really
Gronk
funny.
how Gronk polishes his trophies.
He dents them.
Yeah, after spiking them. I bet he spiked his super when he got the Super Bowl. I bet he spiked it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you gotta finish that.
I like the idea.
It was a good move by the quarterback, but you gotta finish that.
That's it. Undraftable. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, honestly, you know what? I would peg him as an early to mid second round talent.
Yep.
Let's peg him right there at number 7 in the second round, maybe. I think that's exactly where he should go.
Number 7.
Number 7 in the second round.
Are you sure about that?
Positive.
I don't think you're so sure about that.
Positive. Why?
Because the numbers change.
What are you talking about?
The draft order changes. So
Does it?
The team that holds number 7 in the first round or the third round doesn't necessarily have number 7 in the
So
second round.
so Sam, you like his fit with the Carolina Panthers? Is that what you're trying to say?
I mean, they have Jeremy Chin. I actually didn't. Why did they swap?
Because they basically.
Because they have the same record.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Seems weird to me. Should just stay consistent.
So basically what happens is everyone moves up a spot and the team that picks the highest moves to the back. And it just keeps cycling through. So if like teams 7, 8, 9, and 10 all have the same record, the team that picks 7th in the first round will pick 10 in the second. And the team that wins 10 is 9, the team with 9 is 8, and then the team that's 8 was 7. nice patience. Good discipline by number 6. You're definitely playing Holland in quite a bit of zone. Nice play by 35. Third and 29. So, Keelan, we'll start with you. What was one thing that you saw on that game that you didn't do the first 2?
Well, what I saw in that game that I noticed more so than the other 2 games was his passiveness in, I won't say the run game, but when attempting to tackle. He wasn't really an aggressive tackler, in my opinion.
Anything else?
Well, you told me one thing. I can tell you more. I thought that he was. I thought that I've noticed that he's pretty good against the shorter routes in man coverage, but he sometimes gets beat over the top.
Okay, interesting.
Sam?
Sam?
I would disagree with that. I think he got, quote, beat once against Utah, and he was half a step behind. The issue was turning his head, not getting beat.
And it wasn't
Would be
exactly on
my
a short route.
critique.
No, I said he got beat on deep routes.
Oh,
And he's
I
better.
have a hard time saying he gets beat on deep routes, more so than it is just he needs to be more active with his head and finding the ball. Because I thought he was pretty sticky in man, and that he was really, really good. He's better. He's really good in man, but he's better in zone.
Yep.
Even he's got very, very good zone discipline. And the bigger issue is obviously tackling. He's not physical with wrapping up and tackling soundly, which is the big problem.
Yeah.
But I still like him a lot. I think for what he offers and what you're really looking at him for and taking him for, I think he provides an insane amount of value. Like, especially because of the flexibility and the versatility.
very nice.
Neat.
So, with that said, we will go over some of our assessments. So, this is actually the first safety that we watched on the channel this year, or for me in general this year. Oops, yeah, my fault. So, we'll go over some of the things that we are going to be looking for. It's not too dissimilar to corners, but just in general. We've got zone coverage, man coverage, run defense, and mental traits. So, moving to Jevon Holland. We've got role grade for me is going to be a day 1 free safety.
Are you going to screen share your grades or no?
Not for this one.
Okie dokie.
Concerns grades. I don't really think we have any issues with size.
Nope, he looks fine size-wise.
Don't really have any issues with athleticism, character, medical, playbook. Probably don't really want to play him a whole lot on special teams. Not really an issue with mental toughness and recovery either. So the only thing I have there is a possible Lions fit. Player comparison is
I did Earl Thomas.
I'm going to go with Jesse Bates.
Oh, not bad.
Biggest strength is zone coverage. Biggest weakness is physicality. Floor and ceiling, I'm going to go with a medium floor, high ceiling.
That's what I would have gone.
And bust potential is probably around 20 to 25%.
Really? Dang, seems high.
Okay, games watched were
Auburn, California, and Utah.
okay, and we finally move into the grades portion. So for me, zone coverage is going to be a 24. Man coverage is going to be a 22. Run defense is going to be a I'll go with 15. Which is, yeah. Oh, I actually need to check my thing for this because I need to go back. That's what it says. And then rentals is going to be a 23.
Neat, I got my grade finished.
I got mine.
And then one sentence summary for me is going to be elite coverage upside. But needs consistency in tackling and finish. So for me, that is minus 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 100 minus 16 is an 84.
Neat. What'd you give him, Sam?
91.
I gave him an 80.
Oh, nice. So we are all over the map.
Yeah, we're all quite
That's
different.
crazy. That's one of the first times that's happened here.
I'm telling you, I've been a huge Jevon Holland guy for months. I've been on him for a while.
I like his upside in coverage, but my grading system is really the consistency of everything, regardless of really what.
That's kind of why I've started to edit mine a little bit, because I'm not gonna just tank him as a player and say, oh, this guy's a second or third round caliber because he has tackling problems. Like, he has so many elite parts of his game where, I don't know, balancing all four so evenly and just tanking his grade for that seems disingenuous to me. So that's why I balanced.
I gave him a 23 in coverage, 14 in run defense, 21 in mental traits, and 22 in athleticism.
I gave him a 23 in man, a 25 in zone, a 20 in tackling and run defense, and a 23 in mental traits.
Yeah, so I'm going to bump him up one, and for me to 23. So that way he can get the 85, because that feels a little more reasonable after calculating.
Yeah.
In the second tier. So
obviously I'm working on my grading system, but I've only gotten through tight ends. So this is my older one. So I'm currently working on things, so it'll probably be different this weekend.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Honestly, though, I think
that's the first time I've been on a call like for one of these videos, and everyone on the call has graded like drastically different.
It's the first time I can remember when it was me, Brendan, and Carson doing this, like 3 years ago, that really happened. But back then we didn't go over like number grades; we just went over like general ideas.
Yeah, right. But we're usually all within like 2 of each other, 2 or 3.
Yeah, I feel like we have the same general like conclusion, and like the biggest difference is really like nitpicking grades at that point. Like you said, it's pretty minimal, but I mean 91 compared to 80 is wow.
Yeah, I'm 5 behind Chris, and he's 6 behind you, and I'm 11 behind.
We have an entire letter grade of a difference of opinion on him, which is just crazy to me.
Yep.
Yeah, I gave him like a low B, and you've given him what, a low A probably?
Yeah.
And I'm somewhere in the middle, which is generally how it's normally, I would say, plays out, and that's generally why I disagree with basically everyone all the time. Is because there are the people who I think are either too high on somebody or too low on somebody, and that's how we end up disagreeing with everybody.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I'm willing to admit part of it. I've been on him for a while, and I don't want to say like I'm a homer on him because like I love him. Like, that's not really why I've been on him. I love him because I watched him a lot, and I was like, dang, this dude's a stud. I think I'm so much higher on him because I buy into the upside more than other people.
And for
me,
like
I can see, like, if he's utilized right, I think he's a top tier safety.
Yeah, for me, I think it's more so that I don't necessarily buy into the versatility as much as you do.
That's interesting.
For me, it's more about you kind of have to fit him into the role that he needs. So, like, for example, like Sam, just asking you, do you really think after watching this that you would put him in a Tyrann Mathieu role? Legit.
No, I was wrong on the Tyrann Mathieu comp for sure.
Okay.
But I do kind of like that. You could get away with playing him in that moneybacker role. I think you could.
Okay. Do you think that he could play Jamal Adams' role?
No, they are not nearly the same player.
Right. So I think for me, it's about really pigeonholing him into a place that suits his play style and his tools the best.
I mean, couldn't you say the same about like Jeremiah?
I think that he is someone at this point myself that kind of transcends that gap because you can really kind of put him into any linebacker role.
See, that's where I don't know if I totally buy into that. Like I feel like he's so similar to Jamal Adams, where at this point you're gonna play him as almost like a linebacker, like a deep edge, but he is a safety because he has safety size, kind of thing. Like I don't think he can be like he's
But
not
I
gonna
still
be like a
think
Mike linebacker. I don't think
he's not going to be your Mike, but he can be a Will, or he can be a Sam, or he can be a box safety, a deep edge. That's where the real versatility is he can play.
I don't even
He can
necessarily
even
think
he can.
I don't even necessarily think that Jeremiah is all that versatile. I personally don't really like him as much as a safety. Like,
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying is you have there's a lot of players where their upside is tremendous, but you have to find where you can play them and fit their role. Like that doesn't mean they're not versatile.
so for me,
They excel in places.
it's more so for me about how you fit the different roles within a unit, right? So I'm not gonna take Jamal or not Jamal. I'm not gonna take Jabril Peppers and put him at defensive tackle. Like that, I don't need that
Yeah, but I mean,
versatility. But I would like versatility between. I would
Okay.
like versatility between Free and Strong, or between Sam and Will, or between Jack and Edge, or between Joker and Ellie, or like I mean the more within you that play style that you can.
I mean, but we also saw him. We saw him cover deep. We saw him man on the outside. We
Right,
saw
so
him man tight
there's
ends.
versatility in assignment there. In terms of okay, I can trust him on a tight end. I can trust him. I would say against the running back, I would feel comfortable with him playing in that spot too.
So is that not versatility if you can play him at multiple different points of the secondary?
It is, but I don't necessarily see the versatility in alignment. So
I guess I feel like at that point you're really nitpicking because I feel like you can say that about any elite prospect.
I kind of am. But for me, it's more so I trust him the most at free safety. And then from there, your free safety playing for him should be game dependent. So, okay, this game we need to double Travis Kelsey. This game we need to put him on Alvin Kamara. He's the best guy that's going to be able to take away the running back in coverage. Okay, this game we want to flex him in motion against DeAndre Swift. Okay, this game we need to put him over the top because they're going to be taking deep shots with Matthew Stafford. Okay, this game we need to make sure that we accommodate Tyreek Hill. We need to put him on a burner on the outside and double in bracket. So you're kind of utilizing him in different roles, but you're still keeping him, different assignments, but you're still keeping him as your free safety. You're not putting him in the box, you're not putting him at outside corner, you're not putting him on the boundary, you're not putting him at the line, you're putting him at the free safety spot, but you're asking him to do different things. Does that make sense?
I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess we just have different definitions of what versatility can mean in the NFL. I guess at that point, because I still classify that as being versatile.
I classify that as being versatile, but it's not the same. It's not the same.
Every free safety, pretty much in the league, role is covering tight ends when they're in man assignments. It's not like some
but we also did
exclusive thing to him.
We also did see him cover on the outside. We saw him cover receivers.
Not where I want to see him. I'm
not saying he's going to suddenly be an elite outside corner, but you do have that flexibility with him.
Not really, because they used him there. Oregon thought that he was versatile in that way, but
I don't think many change like that is the question.
That my answer to that is, I don't personally think that he's going to be able to cover outside receivers in the NFL.
I think it's possible to do for a snap or two in certain packages.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying it's consistent. Like, okay, yeah, let's put Jevon Holland on the outside. But like, if your play design calls for him to to go ahead and man on the outside for a couple plays, then I think you can fully trust him to do that. And that adds a lot of value for me if you can put him at any different place at any time, even if it's consistent or not, and say, okay, go cover this guy, go take him away. And I think he can.
Yeah, so for me,
I
there's
don't.
two different types of versatility and multiplicity. There's alignment variation, and then there's assignment variation. So the best theoretical prospects are the people who have both, who can play, well, and at least defensively, who can play in different positions alignment-wise, as in they can play in the box, single high, double high, triple high, man coverage, boundary coverage, press coverage, all the different things. And then you have the guys who are, well, actually, that was exaggeration. The guys who
So
can
I
play
mean,
at
are you
linebacker, the
like
guys who can play
I'm
free and
confused about
strong.
your point. Like, is he a worse player upside wise because he's not as versatile as you want him to be?
No,
Is that
he
what you're
is
getting at?
he is a lower quality prospect to me because you have to put him in certain spots. So he's not a guy who I
I
want.
guess
He's
I
not.
don't know. I have a
He's
hard time
he's
seeing that angle.
he's not a guy that I want in the box blitzing 10 snaps a game. He's not a guy that
Well,
I
sure, but
want
why
in
would you
press
play it?
coverage
Like
on a
at
wide
that point,
receiver 10 times.
he's
You're
a
grading
safety, and you're criticizing him for not being versatile enough to rush the passer consistently. That at that point, that just seems ludicrous.
Because it's
I
about
mean, that's what we're
positional
seeing on
alignment.
film.
So you're kind of stuck putting him in a certain spot.
You know, players coming out, like, for example, Minka Fitzpatrick or Jalen Ramsey were so highly regarded because you could play them at free safety in the slot boundary corner.
I
You
have
could
yet
have
to see
them in
Jalen
the
Ramsey
box.
take consistent snaps at free safety.
Because he's so good at what he does that
Exactly. Like, I don't understand how this
Because
makes
I don't
this
think
any different. This is just an
because
angle, I guess. I can't
at
fully
this
get
point
behind.
Holland's not really elite.
I don't know.
I mean,
I feel like at this point you're trying to nitpick things that really don't exist. That's
I
my
mean, we just spent how long watching tape, and you're trying to tell me things don't exist?
I mean, you can
so
say that, like, oh, whatever, I don't trust him fully doing this or that, but to knock him for saying I just don't want him rushing the passer 10 times a game, okay? Then
Or
just don't have him.
that's
That doesn't
just
take away
one
from what he's good at.
example.
It doesn't take away from what he's good at. Like, that's like, you can't.
But what it does is
If he's elite at what you should be elite at for the position and what a team will play him at,
but you
then
don't
that's the
know
bottom line
that
for me.
is the
That's
question. For example, I could say that your Sean Gary was a very, very good defensive tackle. You know what the Packers drafted him as?
edge.
An outside linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, like, okay, when you see the fit with the team, it's easy to say, okay, this is how they envision using him. For example, maybe he goes to Seattle. Okay, Seattle has a tendency to play their safeties, their free safeties in particular, over the top. So you know exactly what you're going to be getting there. And at that point, it's like, okay, yeah, they made the right pick. They got a good value. That's how they're going to be utilizing him. Great. Fantastic. He's a great fit with Seattle. And that's why team fit is so important. Whereas if he goes to Kansas City, for example, at the bottom of the second round, do you really trust him to be the Tyrann Mathieu replacement if they let Tyrann Mathieu go to free agency? I don't. I think their versatility is very different, and you want them playing different roles and different assignments. I don't necessarily trust him to play a cover zero defense where you're sending 6 guys 10 times a game. Whereas if you're playing Seattle type of off coverage over the top in zone, heck yeah, he's probably a first round talent. And that's why team variation and team grades are so different on these guys. And how one team
Well,
thinks
for
have
sure, but I mean
15 first round players and other
every
teams going to have
prospect.
10.
Sure.
Right,
But I
which is
agree
why
This has to be just like a general grading process, not like
Right.
this is locked in what he is for every team. That's never what it was about.
right, which
I grade
is
him
why
for
I'm
all
trying
of
to
his
be
talents.
general.
I grade him for all of his talents. I'm not a scout for the Detroit Lions. I'm not a scout for the Seattle Seahawks. I can't grade players based off their scheme fit. I have to grade them at what they're good at and what they're bad at. I don't think he's good at playing as a box safety. I don't think he's good as a run defender. I don't think he's good as a pass rusher. Therefore, I have to grade him there, and that's why I'm lower on him.
And that's fine. That's not what I'm arguing. Like, you can say, okay, cool, he's not great in the box and whatever, but at that point, criticizing him as a prospect entirely and saying I just don't buy the upside because he can't play in the box. That's what I'm not buying into.
I don't think we've
I
really
don't think
said
it's an
that.
issue with the upside factor. I think it's an issue with actually the opposite, and more so what you're getting day one.
I still think he's a fine player day one. He's sticky in man. He's very disciplined in zone.
Yeah,
If you want to use him as
so
an over high safety, he'll start and be very good day one, in my
right.
opinion.
So he can play.
Sure.
He can be a Julian Blackman next year. Julian Blackman is very fine at what he does. He was a third-round pick.
Exactly. If I'm a scout for per se, a team that runs a lot of deep coverage, like for example, the Jets will be this year, the 49ers or the
Chargers
Seahawks.
are definitely going to.
Well, I
be
mean, I
Oh, the
get what you
Chargers,
guys
yeah.
have been saying. Like, we don't have to like repeat ourselves over and over. Like, I get what you're saying. I just disagree at the end of the day.
I'm just saying, if I were a team like that, scouting for a team like that, he would most likely be a first round pick because he's this type of safety that I would be looking for. But I'm looking for pretty much, I guess, all 32 teams, and that I have to say that he's not good at this, and that's how I grade.
Well, at some point, I'll have to grade and say, okay, well, he's really, really good at this. So why would I grade him and tank him so hard because certain teams wouldn't play him here and he would be bad in this role because he's not good at this? At that point, that seems like, okay, you have to be literally perfect at everything to be a really good prospect, and that makes your grading look flawed.
Generally, yeah, that's
and that can make your grading look flawed because someone who's really, really good in a couple areas of the game, and that's how he's played, and that's how he's designed to play in the NFL, he could be very, very dominant at that for the next 10 years, like top 5 at his position. And you go back to your grades and you're like, oh, I gave him an 82 because he wasn't good in the box. And now you look like you can't grade well. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Basically what Sam's telling me is he thinks John Pennicini was a first-round talent because he's an elite run defender, but can't.
Yeah, no, I think
so
you're going down a slippery slope there.
There's definitely the issue with Pennicini is interior defensive line value, and run stopping value is a lot lower than coverage value. So that's a very different argument because at that point you're starting to get into positional value and analytical value more so than the actual talent that he had.
Because I mean, you can't sit here and tell me that there are over 200 players taken in that draft, or like I guess like over 150 players taken in that draft, straight up naturally more talented than John Pennicini. I won't listen to that argument because it's just not true.
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of what he fell for was, well, for one, being a part of the defense that he was on, which was still good. And he kind of got overshadowed by other players like Bradley and Leaky Fotu and Julian Blackman and Jalen Johnson and all the other parts of that defense that were very, very good. And just the role that he played as a run defender, which is not as valuable as a pass rusher or as a cover guy or as a 3-down linebacker. So,
yeah, I mean, I feel like we kind of got all of our points across here. I don't want to keep this argument going for an hour on a film watching video. Hey, everyone watching this video, if you're still watching, you're the real MVP. You're a true one. You're a real one. We love you. Let us know down in the comments who you agree with more on the grades, because since we're all always so similar, I'm intrigued to see like other people's opinions on who they agree with more. Like me, Keelan, Chris, who do they agree with in our debate? Who do they agree with on grading, etc. I'm intrigued. So let us know down below.
Cool. Well, that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, learned a thing or two along the way. And yeah, as Sam said, just feel free to, I guess, let us know what you guys' thoughts are on this. So I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And for now, peace out.